The gentleman from Alabama. The gentlewoman from Illinois, Ms. Ramirez, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Good morning, and thank you for the subcommittee for allowing me to participate in today's hearing. Ms. Vaughan, I know we've met in Homeland Security before, so it's good to see you again. I want to start with you, and I wanted to ask you a question. Do you believe in the Great Replacement Theory, yes or no?
I don't know what that is. Can you explain it?
Yeah, sure. So the Great Replacement Theory is a white supremacist conspiracy theory that perpetrates the racist, xenophobic, nativist, Islamophobic, and anti-Semitic falsehood that non-white immigrants are being brought into the United States and other Western countries to repopulate majority white countries and disempower white voters to achieve a political agenda and to specifically bring upon the genocide of white people. Central to that theory is the idea that non-white people are invading the U.S. Ms. Vaughan, you have used—
No, I do not believe in.
Okay, well, thank you for your response. So
would
you have
reject
used invasion rhetoric in discussing immigration multiple times.
Excuse me? Can you give me an example of when I've done
I'm
that?
speaking, so when I ask you a question, you can go ahead and answer. I'm actually
Okay,
speaking
I just
now. Ma'am?
can't
I'm
imagine
going to
where you
continue
heard
with my
that.
remarks. So in a number of times, I've heard you use the words invasion.
When?
And so
Ma'am, I don't use that term. That's not appropriate to
it is not
the border
appropriate. It is not
security
appropriate,
discussion.
but it
So
has
I don't
been
see
used.
how you can
Ma'am, I'm
attribute
going to
that
reclaim
me.
my time. This is
Well,
my
you're
time.
saying, you're putting words in
I'm
my
reclaiming
mouth.
my time.
Hey, let's get back to the decorum of the House, please.
Thank you. You may be aware that there is considerable evidence linking Great Replacement Theory rhetoric with mass murders, including the targeting of the Latino
I'm
community.
not aware of that
Ma'am,
evidence.
I am now talking to all of us. So
Well, you're
I'm going to
talking to
reclaim my
me.
time. Sir?
Ms. Vaughn, if you'll just let her finish her questions, we'll make sure you get ample time to rebut.
Thank you. We've heard, including the targeting of Latino community in El Paso, Black Americans in Buffalo, and Jews in Pittsburgh and in Poway, California, for example. Shooters have cited this in their manifestos. And I believe that words matter, and their Great Replacement rhetoric is harmful. It dehumanizes millions of people seeking safety, protection, and refuge. It dehumanizes people like my mother, Maria Ramirez, who crossed the border pregnant with me, and it dehumanizes me. Dehumanizing rhetoric endangers us all, and we must categorically condemn it. I want to pivot, now that I've been able to give the definition and talk a little bit more about it, to focus on our time together here, which is addressing the needs of indigenous and tribal communities. I'd like to direct my next question to Chairman Jose. Chairman Jose, how can the federal government improve access to critical services such as healthcare, counseling, shelters, and legal advocacy for individuals impacted by drug trafficking crimes, predominantly perpetrated by U.S. citizens on tribal lands?
Thank you for the question. How it can work, again, is like the resources that lack not only on the nation, but in Indian country are valuable resources that we could utilize to build these things that are going to help our communities. We need to become not so much dependent on the overall government, but we also need to do some of that work. And if we provided the right resources, we can build some of those things. We can manage some of those treatment centers. We can manage, rather to be proactive than reactive. We need to spend more funding in building schools and libraries and treatment centers than spending money on building prisons and jails and all that, because that's after the fact. And so when we have true consultation and direct funding resources, we can do those things. Those are the things that we need. And it's not just building a building. We're talking about access in terms of housing, in terms of roads, in terms of just basic infrastructure that we can do. It's different on reservations because of the lack of infrastructure. So I believe that in order to address those issues, we need to work together. We need to figure out a system that's not going to block tribal communities from advancing and addressing the issues that it has.
Thank you, Chairman. I, for one, hope, that we don't pit migrants seeking asylum in tribal communities in our nation. We have an obligation for both communities to ensure that our words build instead of break and that our actions affirm the self-determination, safe, healthy, and vibrant community. So thank you for your response. I yield back.
Ms. Vaughan, would you like some time to respond? I know you were attacked, so I'll let you respond.
Yes, the implications about me and my organization and our work are completely wrong. We reject the ideas that she was attributing to us. And I find this to be a distraction in a discussion of a really serious public policy problem, public safety problem, that certainly is very serious to the representatives of Indian country here. And a distraction from that. We need to be able to face these issues without name calling
Thank you.
or maligning of motives.